So grab your headphones, let the journey start. With Suzy's Vegas tales, she's stealing the heart. In the city of dreams, let's laugh and play. Suzy's Las Vegas podcast, come join the sway.
Well, hi there. I've got a wonderful show today. I've got Franchesca on from BrightStar Care, Las Vegas and Henderson, and she's going to tell me all about her business, and I'm really excited to have her on. Hi, Franchesca.
Hi, Suzy. I'm so happy to be here.
Yes.
Thank you so much for the invitation.
Yes, this is wonderful. You know, I'm so glad to have you on because there's so many people that have different things going on in their lives, and they don't know how to handle it. And so I know you're going to give me lots of answers. And how did you get started in BrightStar Care?
So I started with BrightStar Care about 4.5 years ago. I had been working at the Bridge, which is an assisted living, for a little while.
The Bridge?
The Bridge.
I'm not familiar.
It's an assisted living in Las Vegas.
Okay.
And it's out right off Tropicana.
Okay.
And they have, I want to say they have about 60 rooms. I'm not really sure, but they take care of people in the community, provide breakfast, lunch, dinner, and housekeeping, that sort of thing, and then help with activities of daily living.
Okay.
Which is very similar to what BrightStar does, but what BrightStar does is we send caregivers to a person's home to provide care. So rather than them having to up and relocate, we go to them so that they can stay wherever it is they call home.
Oh, that's good. That's wonderful.
Yeah. So I got started. So actually, I will say that I got started working in the senior living industry back in 1992 when I was just a youngin'.
You were about 4 years old, weren't you?
Five.
Okay.
This year, I'm going to turn the big 60.
No.
Yeah.
Well, whatever you're doing, keep it up. You look wonderful.
Thank you. Makeup. But no, I started off actually by accident. I walked into a skilled nursing facility that needed some part-time help as with a receptionist.
Oh, okay.
And so I had been doing missionary work overseas and came home and took a temporary part-time job and fell in love with what I was doing. I just thought, what a privilege to be able to make money doing something that you love.
Oh, it's not work at all then, is it?
No. And to make a difference in someone's life was just always meaningful to me.
Oh, absolutely.
And so started that in skilled nursing as a temporary part-time job. And then when I discovered the senior living industry, I started to experience assisted living, independent living, continuing care communities, and all the various opportunities there are for seniors as we age. So coming to Vegas, I had, coming out of COVID, I was looking for a new job.
Well, that's when you came.
And it was just after COVID.
Oh,
just after it began.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah. Wait, what am I saying? I arrived right before COVID, so COVID came right after. Yeah.
What was it, 2000 what?
So I arrived in 2018.
Okay.
And then I think COVID first showed its face in 2019, the very end, right? Yeah. And so I was looking for a position, and a friend of mine who has done hospice, and currently she's an administrator over at Pacifica Senior Living, which is a great place too.
Yes.
They do independent and memory care, and assisted living, a great spot. But anyway, she said to me, Franchesca, I have the perfect position for you. And I said, really? And she said, oh my gosh, you are going to love it. She goes, they do home care. And it's a woman by the name of Becky Torres, and she's one of the most fascinating people you will ever meet. I was like, okay, well, I've got to meet her.
Yeah.
And so I was able to go in and interview with her. I don't think I understood the difference with home care and senior living at that point, because I think...
explain the difference.
So the difference being
Yeah.
senior living is generally going to be like a 55-plus community,
Yes.
an assisted living, an independent living, like, Revel and Red Rock.
Yeah.
They're really beautiful independent livings.
Yes.
Then you have your assisted livings like Oakmont Senior Living, or Atria is another really nice senior living, or several different ones. And then you have memory care, all considered senior living, but memory care focused on people with dementia and Alzheimer's care.
Okay.
And then home care, we do all similar things. We help provide for the needs of seniors or anybody needing that extra help. But the difference is we send caregivers, nurses, physical therapy, occupational therapy into the home.
Okay.
So for a lot of seniors, when they're familiar with being at home and they want to be where they're most comfortable, it allows them to stay home because we can provide whatever they need there at home.
Okay, so do you have people that are at home 24/7?
We do.
You
We do
do?
everything.
See,
Currently,
I'm learning new things too. Yeah.
Currently, we can do a 24-hour shift, and what we do is we provide someone who's always going to be awake. So it may be 3 8-hour shifts, or it could be 2 12-hour shifts. A lot of times you'll see people don't want 3 different people in their house in a 24-hour period, so they'll do a
Right.
12-hour shift. Someone from early morning to evening, and then someone to be there overnight.
Okay.
Which is a nice way to do it. Or
Sure.
sometimes 8-hour shifts. You get those 3 8-hour shifts, and it's a little less expensive when you do 8-hour shifts. So, but they're always awake, especially because when it comes to like Alzheimer's and dementia or just fall risk.
Sure.
Any kind of fall risk. One fall can change your life forever. And so having someone there to help you when you need that help is just a relief, that safety, security of knowing that you're not alone or that mom and dad are not alone. So that's one of the most beautiful things about what we do is we help people to stay where they want to be.
Oh, that's good. Well, in order to do that, do you have funding in place to do that, or does that
No,
come directly
it's-
from the individual?
It does come from the individual.
Okay.
There are some agencies that work with Medicaid.
Okay.
And some of the HMOs have tried to put different programs into place. It hasn't been done real successfully.
Okay.
So we will do private pay out of pocket, or we'll work with long-term care insurance.
Oh, there is a long-term care insurance.
Yeah, it's an additional type of insurance that people pay for separately. But when you need that to kick in, that is a really great benefit. So the way that
Well,
works.
see, this is
yeah.
good because these are questions, I have a brother that I've got some problems with. He fell and he's had major brain surgery and things are different now than they were before.
Right.
But this is good to know. So long-term care insurance. Okay. All right.
Yeah, and generally with long-term care insurance, I believe you have to require assistance with at least 2 or 3 activities of daily living, and I think that depends on the plan.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
And they'll send out a nurse to do an assessment, say yes, you qualify, and then you request BrightStar.
Okay.
The reason why I appreciate BrightStar
Yeah, I want to know.
is because BrightStar our theme is we function at a higher standard. So BrightStar Care, a higher standard, and the reason we say that is because every BrightStar office is required to be accredited with the Joint Commission.
Oh, that's important.
It
really
is
important.
valuable because it means you're required to maintain a certain standard in policies, procedures, and your outcomes, and so it's very important that we maintain that. And when they started BrightStar,
When did it start? How long
so
ago?
BrightStar is a franchise. I don't.
Oh, it is
I
a
want to say about
franchise.
20. It's a franchise.
Okay.
The local BrightStar is owned by a couple, Becky and Mark Torres, and
Okay.
they've had it for, I want to say 10 years,
Okay.
10, 11 years.
Okay.
But funny story, Becky was actually a kindergarten teacher.
Was she?
She was a kindergarten teacher.
Wow.
Her husband, Mark, was working for Trader Joe's, and he was doing a lot of traveling.
Yeah.
And I guess they got together and decided that they needed to do something different because they wanted to see their children grow up. And he wanted to be home. So
Sure.
he didn't want to travel so much.
Yeah.
And so they
That's
started
wild.
looking into various franchises. And, every once in a while, Becky will say, I should have gotten a yogurt shop.
Because this has to be 24/7.
It can be 24/7, and
Yeah.
you're dealing with personalities all the time.
Sure.
So we're helping people in their homes. We're hiring staff. And we have close to 200 staff members.
You have 200?
Yeah,
So
between
this is a big
caregivers
business.
and office staff, we stay very, very busy.
Sounds like it.
And because she has such a high standard, the
That's
training
important.
involved, and
Yeah.
everybody is licensed, bonded, and insured. And it's so funny because Becky always says,
Yeah.
in Las Vegas, it's very important to let people know that we follow the law.
Yeah.
And she
Well,
says,
true.
it's
Very
an
true.
interesting marketing tool. She says it's very important to let
Yeah.
people know that we really believe in morals and ethics and that we follow the law in every way. So
That's wonderful.
Yeah.
It really is.
thank
Yeah.
you. We're licensed, everyone is licensed, bonded, and insured. All of our caregivers are background checked with the FBI and the Department of
Oh,
Justice.
that's smart. Yes.
Yeah, and then they do thorough background checks. So,
So do most of your caregivers, they've been with you from day one, or?
There are a number that started with Becky. In fact, our director of nursing currently started when Becky was here. So
Really?
she's been on board,
Yeah.
sometimes full-time, sometimes part-time, but now she's on board. She said, I'll come back part-time
Yeah.
as a director of nursing. Not come back, but she would take the role of a director of nursing. And so she's been working it full-time, double,
Wow.
just
That says it all,
really-
doesn't it?
It does. And she's doing such an amazing job.
Yeah.
We're real big on organic word of mouth and Google reviews.
Yes.
And so
Absolutely.
we're constantly receiving great reviews about our nurses, our caregivers, the various staff in the office.
Oh,
Even
that's
I got
great.
a really good Google
Did
review.
you?
I did.
Yeah.
Said I was very kind and compassionate and very understanding.
I know you can't tell me any names, but give me, you seem so happy with your job. Give me an example of, what your life is like, if you don't mind.
Sure. So, let me start off by saying the team I work with is amazing.
Okay.
We have some really good quality leadership.
Okay.
Starting with Becky, and I always like to say, we all know that it starts, a good company starts at the top.
Sure it does.
The compassion,
Absolutely.
the hard work,
Yeah.
the ethics, the excellence, and the willingness to do whatever it takes. And that's Becky.
important. Yes.
And she's one I let our families know when I'm meeting with families for the
Yeah.
first time that we have an owner who's willing to get her hands dirty. If there's a concern or there's an issue, she's right there with us trying to figure things
that's
out,
important.
find solutions.
Yes.
I think it's very important. It gives you a lot of respect for the people you work with.
Mm-hmm.
We value our caregivers. There are so many incentives, so many programs, so many things in place for our caregivers just because we want them to know that we recognize they're the backbone of what we do and they're valuable.
Mm-hmm.
And, being in a town like Las Vegas, where it's a tipping town,
Sure.
our
Absolutely.
caregivers are not allowed to accept tips.
Okay.
So it's illegal for them to take tips or gifts. And so I'll always share with a family member that while they can accept gifts or tips, we take very good care of our caregivers. If they walk outside and they have a flat tire, they can't accept your kindness. So
Yes.
please call us. We will take care of that flat tire. We will make sure our caregivers can
that's
get
good.
back on the road.
Yeah.
So my day generally is going to be either walking into an office where everybody is buzzing around, because we're 24 hours. Our schedulers are constantly working.
Yeah.
They are. If there's someone that calls off sick, they're finding someone to replace them. One of the promises we make is that
that's a big
someone
deal.
will show up.
Yeah.
So there's always going to be an emergency, so we'll always get someone there.
Okay.
They might take a call. Everyone in our office is trained to accept a phone call, to identify what the needs are, how we can help, and then move that on to either myself or my counterpart in Henderson.
Yeah.
Her name is Ann Cadena, fantastic person.
Okay.
And so we can jump in and go meet with a family and help get them started. So
Wow. That is so important.
Yeah, and whatever the needs are, whether it's as simple as companionship, with the early stage Alzheimer's, or even as it progresses, sometimes it's just having someone present
Yeah.
for that safety
That's a
and
big deal.
security, the engagement, or anything, any kind of personal care, bathing, dressing, grooming, laundry, light housekeeping, transportation, helping someone get to the doctor, do some grocery shopping. And
So basically, you have a whole list of things that you can do.
we do, and we even include our skilled side. So we have nurses that can go and give an infusion at home, or IVs or G-tube feedings, or any kind of skilled need
Wow.
that they might have in the home. We've had people that are on ventilators and need 24-hour skilled nursing, maybe with G-tube feedings and infusions and the total care, helping someone to
That's a
stay
whole
clean
different
and dry
ballgame.
and bed
Yeah.
baths.
Yeah.
So for whatever the need is, if they want to be home, we 99% of the time can pull a team together that can help a person stay home.
Oh, wow. That's
Mm-hmm.
wonderful.
The other thing that we do, which I like, is when you have someone go into the hospital and maybe it's someone with Alzheimer's and they're not used to staying in bed and they're up and down and up and down, we can send a caregiver to the hospital to stay at bedside.
Wow.
Just to help them be comfortable, relieve a little bit of the anxiety.
Yeah.
You know, they can't necessarily do the care because of liability, but just having someone there.
Sure. Somebody they know or somebody that's with them, they're not alone.
Just that presence.
Yeah.
Because they get very busy in a hospital.
Yes.
You know, and staffing.
Absolutely.
They're not getting that one-to-one care. They're getting what they need medically, but they need that assurance and that extra attention.
Wow.
So, yeah, that's a little bit of what we do.
That's quite a lot. It really is.
Yeah, we love it. Well, I always like to read this poem.
Okay.
And I'm going to read it if I may.
Please do.
It is Dr. Seuss,
Okay.
The Cat in the Hat on Aging. Now, I love this because people will say, well, what do you guys do? And so I'll always read this poem. Okay. It says, I cannot see, I cannot pee. I cannot chew. I cannot screw. Oh my gosh, what can I do? My memory shrinks, my hearing stinks. No sense of smell, I look like hell. My mood is bad, can you tell? My body's drooping, I have trouble pooping. The golden years have come at last. The golden years can kiss my...
I love that.
And you know,
Why did you say that's The Cat in the Hat?
The Cat in the Hat on Aging, Dr. Seuss.
Oh my God.
It's actually called On Aging. But you know, I'll read that and you know, we all laugh and it's so funny, but you know, when it starts to happen to you, it's not quite as funny.
No.
But we can help. If you have trouble getting to the bathroom to pee, we're your people. If you've got a catheter that needs emptying, or you just need to be sure you can get to the bathroom safely.
Sure.
If you have a mom or dad, grandma or grandpa that, you know, is struggling with incontinence, we can help with that. You know, vision, safety at home, trips, fall risk.
There's so many things.
All those things.
Yeah.
Our caregivers are trained.
And you know, it's amazing. You don't realize all the things that can happen until it does happen. And then you're left scrambling, trying to figure out, what am I going to do? How can I do this?
And then things tend to snowball.
Oh, of course they do.
You know, and then you know, we have someone who just got home with a hip fracture. Well, they had a hip fracture, had a replacement, and then ended up with a bed sore. You know, so now they need wound care. Unfortunately,
all these things, go hand in hand. Yes.
Yeah, and it's kind of downhill sometimes until you get it managed.
That's right.
And that's when calling a home care agency, really and truly, calling them sooner rather than later to prevent some of those additional issues that come up.
That's true, because once you get one thing, then you're right, it snowballs. It really does.
And then there's the back into the hospital, back to rehab, home, and then back to the hospital. You know, one of the things that we look at is if we see that someone is declining.
Yes.
There's so many resources in town. They don't have to go back to a hospital or to a rehab. Well, they don't have to go back to a hospital, but maybe they can go to a rehab short term.
Okay.
Or we can bring in our physical therapist to the home and start to do some exercises
that makes a
and build
difference
strength.
when you can do that. It really does.
Yeah. And with our healthcare system, it's important to keep people out of the hospital.
It sure is.
Have
Believe
people
me.
Be home.
Yeah, I totally agree. So how many people work for you?
Close to 200.
Wow. And this is what, Las Vegas and Henderson?
Yes.
And if people want to get...
Boulder City.
Oh, Boulder City too?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Do you go as far as Pahrump or no?
No, not yet. We're hoping maybe at some point, but it's a little too hard to staff.
Yeah, I was going to say, because that's quite a large area.
Yeah, and it's important to us because we have our caregivers that go to a home, but we also have a registered nurse that visits all of our clients. She does an initial assessment, she does the medical portion of it, and then she makes sure that our caregivers have the training for whatever medical issues they have. As they progress, they can identify changes, you know, or they can identify.
That's a big deal, Franchesca. That
really
is huge.
It is, because it can help, again, prevent that hospitalization.
Absolutely.
Catch things early enough.
Yeah, yeah. As I said, most people don't realize until it's too late until it's right on your doorstep, and then this happens. But the fact that you can stay in your home and have people take care of you there, I mean, that's a big deal.
I think so. I agree.
Yeah.
And we started our concierge program just this last
Oh, yeah,
last
the concierge program. Well, tell me about it.
So basically, with our concierge program, we have prepared it for those people that, you know, maybe they're more your high net worth person because and they've been working positions where they're used to getting things done yesterday. You know, they wanted this, they need it yesterday.
Yeah.
And so there's a whole different way of facing life and approaching issues.
That's true.
And it's just a little bit higher demand, higher expectations. And so we have a group of caregivers. We have a designated field team manager for people with those expectations that have been
So
trained
you have
and prepared.
concierge. So it's my husband and I have concierge medical.
Okay.
And so I'm familiar with that. So you have the
So,
concierge in this.
A little bit different because we don't do the monthly memberships. We provide that higher level of care. So it's
Okay.
kind of like that boutique style of concierge care.
Okay.
So we have a certain group of staff members that are trained for people with those expectations. So it is a little more expensive, but we have, for example,
Yes.
we have a client with early onset dementia.
Okay.
And so the family wants to make sure that this particular client is progressing. We're putting off the memory issues for as long as possible, engaging her in cognitively stimulating activities, getting her out into the community.
Oh, wow.
And so our field team rep is our concierge rep, and she'll go meet with them actually once a week. So we have our caregiver, but we also have someone that's going in once a week, sometimes a little more, maybe once every other week, just to make sure that the plan and care is working, and that it's successful, and that we're doing the best that we can, that our caregiver is on top of things and doing those engaging activities, and how is she responding to these things.
Sure.
You know, getting her to the community centers and things like that. So it's just a higher care. So we may have someone that's requiring, we call it our platinum care, which it's a dual service with our skilled nursing and our personal care. So they might need someone to come in and do infusions 12 hours a day, but they also need someone to provide the personal care, the bathing, you know, maybe a bed bath, dressing. Maybe they're on a ventilator, or, you know, they just have those really high needs.
So you have all kinds of different
Levels
things.
of care, yes.
Wow.
So it may be they just need a caregiver around the clock for safety, security, those everyday needs, helping to stay clean and dry, those things we take for granted.
Sure.
You
That's
know?
exactly it.
Those things that we can do easily, that, you know, you break your leg and you can't get to the bathroom, you break your arm and you can't wipe yourself.
Yeah.
All those little things, but our caregivers go in, and with the, you know, I'm going to say 99.9% of the time, with just that beautiful, compassionate spirit. You know, every once in a while,
That's wonderful,
someone
though.
might have a bad day.
Yeah.
But, you know, they do a good job. And
But the fact that you do provide all that, I mean, this is totally amazing. It really is.
And there's so much more need for it than you
Yes.
realize, especially in our town, growing.
Yes.
Our senior population growing like it is.
Yeah.
I'm going to read one of our.
Okay.
At the back of our book here, we have our client testimonials.
Yeah.
So I'm just
I'd
gonna
love
read
to
a
hear it.
couple. So one of them says, our customers have consistently praised our award-winning care. Recognizing the higher standard of service we provide, we strive for excellence. This is us.
Okay.
Excellence in every aspect of our work, and our client satisfaction is a testament to our commitment. The feedback and testimonials highlight our professional, efficient, and compassionate presence in their lives. We take great pride in the positive impact we make and the trust we build with our clients, creating a legacy of quality care that is second to none. First one says, I am receiving great service. My caregivers are first class, and they help me with everything I need. I love my caregivers.
Wow.
Then the next one, I've been very impressed with the entire process. They started right away and were amazing. I am very pleasantly surprised because my mom was very resistant to having anyone come into her home. I am very appreciative. They ensure everything she needs is handled, and they continuously provide excellent care for her daily. My aunt gets along great with her caregivers, as well as they adore her. We couldn't have asked for better caregivers. We very much appreciated that BrightStar Care accommodated last-minute changes to our schedule. The caretakers were on time, thorough with their task, and friendly, even going beyond expectations. I would recommend this agency if you have loved ones in need of this service. So that's just a few of them.
That says it all right there.
Thank you.
It's wonderful.
And if you go to our Google reviews, I'm always so
Yeah.
proud of this. People
Yeah.
say, you always talk about Google reviews, and I think it's because this is what our clients say about us.
Well, sure.
This is our success.
Well, that's the big
So,
deal. You want to know how you're doing, and obviously it tells right there. Well, if
Yeah.
people want to get a hold of you, how do they do this?
They can call our office at 702-982-2273. You'll be speaking to one of the most amazing people, whether it's Terry, Jen, Lena. You'll enjoy anyone you get a hold of. You can either ask for me by name, Franchesca, or you can just talk to them about what your needs are. They'll fill you in and get you to the right person, whether it's myself in Las Vegas and pretty much West Central all the way down to Southern Highlands and Centennial Hills. And then we have Ann Cadena, who covers the other side of town.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's great. I'm just so glad we had you on today.
I appreciate this, and I'm looking
Yeah.
forward to more about you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's a big deal because of the senior population here, and the fact that when you get there, things happen,
Yeah.
and it looks like you've got it all covered. It really does.
I'm happy to be part of a really good team.
Yeah. Well, I'm really tickled that you've been on the show today, and I hope to have you back again.
Suzy, we would love it, and I'd love
Yeah.
you to meet the rest of my team.
Yeah,
I'll have
I
to
would
take
love
the
it too.
cameras over.
Yes, for sure. Well, if you like this show, be sure to like, subscribe, and share. And be sure to reach out to Franchesca because this is really a big deal. The fact that you have concierge, platinum care, you've got the regular care. I mean, it looks like you've got everything covered. It really does.
And if we haven't thought about
stay
it,
home too.
we'll work with you.
Yes.
We'll figure it out.
You heard it here first. Sometimes when I bring people on, it's a surprise. They're not all cookie cutter. I mean, you're definitely a step above the rest. You really are.
It's our promise.
Yeah,
It's
and
our
it's
promise.
wonderful. But you can tell you have a dedication to this, Franchesca. You really can.
Yeah, I do love what I do.
Mm-hmm.
I love being able to offer something that's valuable and helpful and is
Yeah.
going to touch the spirit of someone.
Yeah,
you know?
I can feel it. Just your enthusiasm and
you.
how you feel about things. I mean,
Thank you.
so do yourself a favor. Be sure to reach out and call her and find out more about this because it's really, really important. And we're very lucky in Las Vegas to have BrightStar.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
We're very happy to be here.
Yep. So that's our show for today. And be sure to like, subscribe, and share. And I hope you'll tune in again. Thank you, Francesca. It was a
Thank
pleasure
you.
having you.
Thank
That's
you.
our
Have
show
a great
today.
day, everyone.
Bye-bye.
So grab your headphones, let the journey start. With Suzy's Vegas tales, she's stealing the heart. In the city of dreams, let's laugh and play. Suzy's Las Vegas podcast, come join the sway.